Welcome back. It is time to Ask the Vet, where we try to answer some of the questions about caring for your house, dog, or cat. And joining me once again is Dr. John Faught from the Firehouse Animal Health Center here in Austin. And who did you bring with you? Noisy one.
This is Zoe.
Zoe, yeah.
Zoe is on the patrol for food at all times.
That's right. An 8-year-old beagle, obviously very happy and not too camera shy. But we do have several questions from some of our viewers involving a couple of medical issues. And the first one comes from Bill, who writes in and says, my dog has glaucoma. Is that painful to my pet?
Well, it is. Glaucoma is actually increased intraocular pressure, so the pressure inside the eye. And so what we know, we know this from people who have glaucoma, that it can be a painful process, although a lot of dogs that have glaucoma, they don't always exhibit a lot of pain, and that's always the question that we get. Part of the reason, as far as glaucoma goes, what we're really trying to do is decrease pressures, take away that pain, and really try to retain vision when we can.
And that's my next question is, what happens if a dog loses vision?
Yeah, that's one of the big challenges. Glaucoma, when those pressures go up and stay up for usually people say over about 48 hours, we worry that the vision can be lost. So the treatment after that point, if vision is already lost, is really just trying to minimize pain. And so part of the treatments are medical. As horrible as it sounds, a lot of those dogs, it's actually best just to remove the eye, because you take away the source of pain. They've already lost their vision, and you're not going to regain it at that point. Sometimes taking the eye out is the best thing that we can do.
That has to be a tough decision, certainly.
It is.
Susan emailed in. She says, I've heard about a new allergy medication coming out soon. What can you say about it? Is this a known allergy medication?
Yeah, well, it's something that just came out in the market. It's called Apoquel.
Okay.
It's something that is, historically we see a lot of allergies here in Austin, and we're always using shampoos and antihistamines and potentially steroids if we need to really minimize that. But steroids come with some added risks long term. And so Apoquel, the cool thing about it is that it's very specific. It's targeted to certain skin receptors. And from what we understand, we honestly haven't had a lot of experience with it in the other than in the clinical trials before. Because it's the big challenge with Apoquel has been that it's been so well received that it's been very hard to come by and hard to get. And so we're having a hard time getting our hands on it, but the general consensus is that by 2015, manufacturer is going to start, the supply will start meeting the demand.
Yeah, catching up with demand.
Yep.
Janie writes in, my cat has a fat lip that looks really inflamed. What should I do for that?
What that sounds like is, we'll see cats sometimes that will get what's called an indolent ulcer, and it's almost like they get this big red swollen, can also be ulcerated. The indolent ulcers typically are, we believe that they typically come from some sort of allergic or parasitic manifestation. They're kind of almost an allergic reaction that tends to affect the lips. And so we generally treat those with steroids, antibiotics, try to minimize that inflammation. But the biggest thing that we can do is trying to get rid of the inciting cause and try to make sure there's not a flea component or something else that's driving that.
I see. Yeah, Zoe heard cat and went crazy.
Yep.
That was it. Dr. Faught, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Once again.